So let's focus on getting the image from local storage. So here we want to get the contents of whatever we have saved locally and turn it to a UI image so we can call our completion and pass it through. So I'm going to say if let contents of file equals to UI image, and we can initialize our image with contents of file, and here we just want to pass where our file is. And remember, we have access to our image name, our file name, and also we have this handy function that will return the whole path by providing an image name. So let's use that. So I'm going to say file in documents directory, and then we will pass our image file name. And this will try to create a UI image with whatever the contents of that path is. And if we get these contents of file, it means we have successfully converted it to a UI image. Otherwise, there was some kind of error. Even though we have the file locally, we are unable to convert it to UI image. So it's pretty much useless for us. So I'm going to say print. And let's say couldn't and then I want to say completion, and let's pass our contents of file. And in this case, contents of file, in this case, this is going to be nil, because remember, we are returning an optional UI image. Actually, no, we don't want to do this, sorry. We want to return some default image. So I will say UI image, and then let's say named, and I want to return this avatar. Or no, not the avatar. Let's get this sample photo, I think is the name. No, it's the avatar. So we put here, where is it? Avatar. All right. And in case if we have an image, I will say completion. And then we want to return our contents of file, which is converted to a UI image. So let's run. Because our current avatar is saved locally, we are going to check if this is working. It says we have local image. All right, it does return something, but remember, we are not, where is it? Edit. I just get so many tabs here. Let's get rid of them. File storage. Settings. So here we're not using this avatar image, so let's set our self avatar image view dot image is equals to avatar image. So now we are using the result whatever we get from our file, so hopefully we are going to visually see our avatar image. All right, it was set, and this is the waterfall. And now we are going to write the second part, which is when we download it. Where is it? In case our file doesn't exist locally, we want to download it from Firebase. So let's write the code for that. And before I do anything to download from Firebase, I want to check if my image URL is empty string. So I say if image URL is not equals to empty string, then it means we have some kind of link there and we can proceed and download the contents. So I'll say let document URL is equals, and we need to create a URL from string, and the string is our image URL. So once we have a URL object, we can create a download queue. So we can do this on a background, and we are going to download the contents of that URL and convert it to a data. So let's say let download queue is equals to dispatch queue, and then I'm going to create a label and call this image download queue. And now we can access our download queue and say asynchronously, and we're going to ask this to download. So we say let data is equals to ns data contents of, and we are interested in contents of our document URL, the one we created here. So this is going to take whatever is in this URL and create a data from it. So we are going to check if it's successful. So we say if data is not equals to nil, it means we have converted it into a data. Else, let's just do a print here. Say print no document in database. So it means whatever we were trying to convert to a data was failed, and we want to be notified. And then also I want to say completion, and we pass nil, so the callback happens as well. And if we have a data, what we want to do is to take this data and create a UI image from it. And also what we want to do is to save this image locally, so the next time we need that, we don't have to download it. So I'm going to first put the mark here, save locally. So I'll say file storage dot save file locally, and I'm going to pass my data, and I can force unwrap because we just checked it's not nil, and the file name is our image file name that we get from up here, wherever that is, image file name. And once we save it, this is just for our next time. But what we want to do now is to return the image, because remember we are in a special queue we have created to download this. We want to get to the main queue so we can do our callback. So I will say dispatch queue.main.async, and I will call my completion here. Let me copy this, paste it here, and instead of returning nil, I want to say we need to actually convert this to image. So we will say UI image, and then we can create one with the data. And the data is going to be our data. And I can unwrap this and say that this is as data. And that's it. The same thing let's do for our return nil, because we want to get back to the main queue, and then we want to call our completion. Let's see here, what's the error? Command B. All right, the error goes away. And let me check. So if I file existed path, All right, let's do one thing. We are going to our edit, and then when I upload something, I'm not going to save it locally. So we have an opportunity to check if this is going to work for downloading. So let's run. Let's go to our settings. I'm going to change my image here, and I'm going to, let's put these flowers. Done, and it's going to upload. All right, and if I come, let me just delete everything from here. So if I go back, we should try to download it, and then we're going to see we have local image. All right, I see the problem, because the local image we initially had, remember, we are saving with our user's name, the ID, and it still returns the old one that we have saved. So our local thing still there, and we didn't override it now. So we have this old image. So I'm going to fix the issue by removing the app. So this will clean everything we have. And let's rerun our application. Now let's log in. Get rid of this, and let's get from Firebase, and it actually downloaded the image and set it. So if I come back here, you see now it's print we have local image, because remember, when we download once, we save it locally, so we don't have to wait next time and we open, it's already there for us to use. And also what we want to do is set the image here, so when I open this, we are going to see the image as well. Let me uncomment this code out, because we want to save it every time we change something. And also here we have this to do, set avatar, and I want to call my file storage dot download image, and we pass our user avatar. Completion handler will be our avatar image, and then we say self.avatar image view.image is equals to our avatar image. So let's try again, and we see if in our edit profile we are going to see our avatar image. So here we have we have local file. We come here and we set our image as well, and we are accessing it locally. We don't have to download it again. Let's give permission to access all the pictures, and let's change it to this waterfall. Done. It changes, it saves here, we get back, it replaces the image, and if I come here, we still have the same image. So our image is working, and the only thing we need to make it nice and round in our next lecture.